Okay, so hope everyone had a great winter break and Christmas and New Year's. This is something that I was hoping we could do in person, uh, but just because of safety and found out some people close to us were positive for COVID. I figured we would do this remotely, but what we're going to do here is this is a recording of our game against Little Miami on December 20th. And um, what I've done is I've cut a lot of it out. I've cut out the timeouts, halftime, free throws, stoppages in play, some plays that I just didn't really think were that big of a deal and we didn't need to talk about, and just really got the most important plays that I want to discuss. Um, Now, I'm going to do two things here as we're watching this. One is I'm going to point out things that we did well, um, and I'm also going to point out things that we didn't do too well and that we need to improve on. And, I just want to let everyone know I know that it doesn't feel all that great to be, highlighted when you didn't do something well, but the point of all this is to learn from it and see um, what we can do better. And, so just take this as constructive criticism and learn from it and try and do better next time. If you can do that, I think it'll really make all of you better basketball players and better athletes. So let's get into it. This is tip off in the first play of the game. And also through this, I'll be pausing it and rewinding it a little bit so we can look at some things. So let's get going here. So tip off, Max almost went to the wrong basket. But anyway, this first play, we actually moved the ball really well. Now, one thing I want to point out, though, right off the top, we got a good pass to the wing from Max to Miles, but what do? Miles isn't looking for the cutter, and also Max cuts behind Grayson instead of over the top so he can get a good pass. And we've talked about that a lot is we got to make these cuts like we want the basketball. And to do that, you got to be in front of the basketball. So, we're moving the ball around a little bit more. Good pass to Colt. Colt makes the pass to Max, and here is the main thing I wanted to show on this play. Actually, let me take it a little further. So, look, Colt does exactly what he's supposed to do, makes a good cut, comes down the front of the lane, but here's the problem. Colt is barely even made his cut, and he's already got his head turned and is thinking about going through to the other side. Max is already decided he's passing it to this guy. He's not even looking at the cutter, and look at this. Look how wide open all this space is right here. If Colt could finish the cut all the way through, which I know I'm picking on Colt, but every kid on the team does this. You guys don't finish the cut all the way down. If Colt could finish this cut all the way through and Max could just give it another second and make this pass, we'd have a wide open layup there. And what ends up happening is we reverse it another time and end up turning over the ball. So, okay, this is first defensive play. And I think here, right. So here's what I wanted to show on this. We're going to go back. Okay. Kid takes a shot from the top of the key, which is fine. I mean, he could take 100 of those shots and probably not make 10 of them. But let's look at the boxing out situation. Okay. We got Colt, good job of boxing out, right? We have Grayson in position to box out. It looks like there's a kid behind him. Max going for the ball, not boxing out. Cameron going for the ball, not boxing out. Miles not going for the ball and not boxing out. And if you remember, on defense, rebounding is find, hit, get, right? Find a guy, hit them, not literally, don't punch them, but put your body on them, make physical contact with them, and then get the ball. So Colt and Grayson are doing it. Max and Cameron have skipped all the way to step three, which is just get the balls, and that leaves two guys here roaming free. Miles not boxing out. This kid's roaming free, and they get a rebound because of a kid that snuck in there. Now they don't score, but we're lucky they didn't score. All right, what do we got here? Uh, okay. All right. This play, um, Miles dribbles inside, which I'm fine with. For a second there, it looks like he's going to have an opening, but this guy slides down and stops him. Okay. This is something we have to learn, which is, you guys want to try and make stuff happen. That's fine. I'm all for it. But you also have to realize when it's not there anymore and when it's time to look to your teammates. So we end up kind of forcing up a shot. Hang on, let me get it back to right when the shot happened. That results in a traveling call. But look at this. Like, Max is wide open here. Grayson probably could be if we pivoted back. So I don't want to belabor the point, spend too much time on this, but if it's not there, it's not there. And let's pass it to a teammate, see if we can keep the possession alive. All right, next possession. So this is just a great job by Max and Park or Grayson, but Max especially to force a turnover in the corner with good aggressive defense. This play right here, um, it's a turnover, but I'm okay with this, and we did this a couple more times in the game, and we're more successful with it. But this, like, Grayson here, his defender is standing in front of him, right? So whether it's Grayson, Parker, Colt, who even Nolan, whoever our big guy is, if he's going to stand in front of him, look at all this open space here to get to the basket. So that's a good idea by Miles, even though this one didn't work out. And I think we'll practice this a little bit, but I think that's something that we can do more of if they're going to play man and leave this open because we can probably get some good shots from it. Okay. This one is I'm not sure what we're looking at here. Oh, this is another. Okay, this is their first basket of the game on a second chance point. And look, again, this kid pops a three from out here, which, I mean, he's wide open. Cameron should be covering him there, but most kids are not going to make that shot. But let's look where everyone is when the shot goes up, right? So we got Grayson's boxing out. Colt, we'll call that a half box out because he's got his body on someone, but this kid already got position on him. Max is in front of the shooter, but is not boxing him out. Cameron, again, going for the ball instead of boxing someone out. Miles not boxing anyone out, right? And look, the kid who, not to pick on Miles, but the kid who was closest to Miles, like Colt can't box both these kids out. Cameron should have been boxing this kid out. Max should have been boxing him. The kid who is left free here, not boxed out, gets an easy rebound, easy bucket. So that's something we have to improve on is everyone boxing out. Oh, this is what I wanted to show, which is running that play again of getting it to Grayson over the top. Um, got a better pass this time. Next time Grayson will finish the shot, but that's a good pass, and like I said, I think we can do that more. This one, Oh, great execution of our offense here by Miles and Jalen. Let me go back and show this, right? We get good pass from Miles to Jalen on the wing. Miles makes perfect cut, good bounce pass from Jalen, and Miles finishes the shot. That's, you know, about as good as we can do that. This, if I remember correctly, this is just great defense by Miles here. And I also want to point out something else. We haven't covered this much, but so Colt is playing the back line on our defense, right? So his zone is from like right here on down. But we've talked about, sometimes this guy might have to come out on what we call bump coverage, which is to temporarily help out up here until this guy can recover, which Colt does a great job of, even though we've only practiced it like one time. You can see he comes out to the wing to help Miles out, and then as soon as Miles gets there, Colt recovers. And then Miles just harasses this kid, which um, is a good example of, you can play good defense without slapping and reaching in. Just, block their path, move your feet, get up in their grill, and he forces this kid to turn the ball over, and then we get an easy layup out of it. All right, this one is great defense from Miles and Jalen. Jalen's up here pressuring the ball, right? Miles, where is it happen at? Right here. So bad pass. Miles gets on him, and Jalen. This is what we got to recognize on defense. Jalen, whether he consciously thought this or not, sees that this kid is trapped here, and Miles has got him under pressure, so he's coming up to deny the pass, and ends up picking it off. We get a little bit of a fast break. Now, the only thing I would say is Miles, just go ahead and shoot that right there. But fortunately, Parker hustled down, got a good offensive rebound. Okay. If this is the play I'm thinking of, which maybe it's not. No, this is another one. Great Okay, it's just you know good aggressive defense by Max and Cameron in the corner. Remember, if they get the ball down in the corner, we should be all over them because they don't have anywhere to go. And so they both do a good job of harassing this kid in the corner and forcing him to make a bad pass out of bounds. Okay. All right. This one again. Look, Jalen makes the pass to Max on the wing. Makes the cut. Look at this. There's no one back here. Again, Max is already looking for this guy to come around. Not Jalen's calling for the ball. He's got a wide open lane. We have to we send these cutters through the lane for a reason, and it's to hopefully get the ball in the lane and get a good shot. So we have to look for that. Don't just get the ball and decide automatically where you're passing it. And actually, Parker's pretty open too. He could get the ball and drive down the lane. So, think through your options. You got a few every time you get the ball. And then the other thing here, okay, sorry to pick on Max here, but Max passes to Cameron and then stands there. Okay. Rule number one on our offense: if you pass the ball, you cut. There is no pass and stand option. It's always pass and cut. Even if you get the cut wrong, I'm not that concerned about that. But don't pass and stand there. All right. Let's see what happens here. Oh, this a good little. Just I wanted to recognize Jalen and Max for this. You know, kind of a half backdoor cut by Max. His guy's denying the pass right here. So he just goes towards the basket. Jalen makes a good pass, and we end up with some free throws. Another one. Max is going to go backdoor again here, I think. If it's what I'm thinking of. He fakes out, goes backdoor. Tough pass, but Parker was there to help out. Okay, this play, if I had to make a list of 5 plays that from this game that just drive me insane, this is one of them. Because they have the ball in the corner, which is where we want it. I mean, we should be all over them harassing it. And instead of it being a turnover because we are all over this kid in the corner, it ends up in free throws, and it's all because of our bad position on defense. Okay? When this play starts, let's look at where our defenders are lined up. We got Jalen and Max up top where they're supposed to be. Nolan down low, generally where he's supposed to be. Parker, who is our back row middle guy, is up here at the elbow. Cameron, who is our back lower guy, is all the way up here at the elbow. Okay? So what happens is they pass to the corner. I know it's kind of hard to see. We're supposed to be all. When the ball goes to the corner, our defender should be there as soon as the ball gets there, ready to pressure them and harass them. Nolan is late getting out there, and he also, it's hard to see here, but the way his body is angled, he gives up the baseline. Okay? The kid drives along the baseline. Parker should be right here, ready to help out. He's still up by the elbow. Cameron is still up in this area. So the kid drives, and we've got Nolan, who was defending him out here, coming from behind because he gave up the baseline. Our help defender, who should have been down here in the middle ready to stop him, coming from behind because he had to come down from the elbow. And then our other help defender, who should be in the middle of the lane, over here on this post. And the kid ends up shooting free throws just because all 3 guys are out of position. All 3 on our back row were not in the correct position. So that ended up with the kid getting free throws. And I think he missed both free throws, but they ended up getting a rebound and scoring, if I remember correctly. This one, oh, okay. Here's the other one this is number 1 on my list of driving me insane. Okay, here, let's go back to what happened here. Good defense by Max to pressure him, but Max ends up losing his footing a little bit going for the ball. We now have Cameron coming up to help, which is fine. That kid beats Cameron. Colt is there as good help defense, fortunately. Shot goes up. Doesn't make it. We got Nolan in good box out position. It's hard to see, but you can tell from that kid's position, Nolan is boxing out. We got Colt looking to box out this kid, right? We've got Cameron going for the ball instead of boxing out this kid. We've got Max and Miles standing there, not going for the ball and not boxing out. And watch who ends up with the rebound. You see that? The kid all the way out here when the shot goes up at the 3-point line gets the rebound because our guards didn't box out. I mean, now they end up scoring. They get another rebound. That's 2 points. This one, 2 things I want to point out on this. First is our out of bounds play, right? Nobody is doing this correctly. Max comes over and sets the screen for Miles. Miles comes over, and we are automatically, just every single time, we're just automatically throwing it to this guy. But if you remember, there's supposed to be another option here, which is Max sets the screen. Max is supposed to cut behind his defender and come. Colt is supposed to clear out to get that defender out. Max is supposed to come right down here for a layup. And, again, I'm picking on Max, but none of our guards do this correctly. So we've got to start working on that. That would be uh, maybe one or two easy shots a game. But the other thing I wanted to show here is the hustle from Cameron. He makes a bad play here with that pass, but he doesn't sulk about it or anything. He hustles down the court and ends up getting a turnover based on Miles's D and the quick layup. So good job, Cameron, there. Another one, okay? Another one of, look, this kid comes down, takes a really just bad shot. Like, I, you know, like kids can take those shots all day. The ball is in the air. Look where the ball is in the air. We got no one boxing out this kid, no one boxing out this kid. Cameron looking for the ball instead of boxing out the kid right behind him. Miles and Max not boxing out. There's not really anyone close to Max, but still not boxing out. And look who gets the rebound. The kid who was right behind Cameron but didn't get boxed out. Now, fortunately, Parker gets the rebound. We're able to go down the court. But could have been worse. This one, good idea. I like the path, the thought from Miles. What I would say is Parker, you got to be aggressive and take a step towards the ball here, not wait on it. Okay, so he's making that pass to you, run out and get it, and then go to the basket. But it's a good pass for Miles, and actually, I think Miles ended up going to the line on that. But there, great pass from Miles. We need to finish that shot, but way to look at the guy in the post. Okay, we are in the second half now. It is scored 13. The score is 13-13. Okay, another rebounding issue, which it's kind of tough to see because of the corner. I think that's what this play is going to be. Okay, watch this. Watch this. This kid takes a shot from the corner that he probably will never ever make. Couple things here, right? So in our defense at this point, Miles is the one over here, Jalen's the two up top, Grayson's in the middle, Parker's the four, Nolan's the five. One thing I want to point out is Nolan's box out form. This is perfect boxing out right here. And Grayson's is good too, but we kind of have a good angle here so I can show this. Nolan's butt is in this kid's lap, which I know is funny, but that's what we got to do because if the ball had come here for this kid to get it, he would have to go over Nolan's back, which would be a foul. So when I tell you I want you to box out, this is what it should look like. And same thing with what Grayson is doing over here. But the other thing I want to point out is, again, we got no box out up top at all. And these two guys both were guarding the shooter, and neither one of them is boxing him out, right? They're both watching the ball. And what ends up happening? See who ends up with the ball. Right there. Now, again, we got lucky, and Jalen gets the ball to Miles, and we get it up court, but we just can't let teams do that because we're not against better teams. We won't get lucky. Okay, this is the start of a four-play sequence on offense in the second half. Four consecutive plays on offense where we don't run the offense and we turn the ball over every single time. So we go here. Jalen sets a screen for Miles, which, you know, that's not our offense, but I'm not. It's fine. If you guys want to try stuff, sometimes it's fine. But if it doesn't work out, you have to go back and run the offense. So he sets a screen. Miles, I think, is going to try and go around this way, but it just doesn't work out. Two things that happen here. One is Miles, picks dribble up on the sideline, which is just not a good place to pick up or dribble. If anything, if you see it's not going to work out, just keep your dribble and come back up top and set it up. Other thing though is Jalen, who is our other guard, if you see he's in trouble, you have to be sprinting over there to help. I mean, I don't care if he even just hands the ball to you, but you guys got to help each other out in these situations. And what ends up happening is Miles forces that pass. Jalen doesn't go to the ball and it gets picked off. Here's the next play. Again, we don't run the offense. Grayson is in position to run it. Parker's in position to run it. I got to see where Nolan ends up, but I think again this starts with Jalen setting a screen for Miles, which is not, is just not in our offense anywhere. Now, I think Miles was trying to make a pass to either Parker or Grayson, which is fine, but like let's set it up and run it a little bit. Um, okay, another one. Jalen sets a screen for Miles. Jalen gets the ball, and here this one. Okay, Jalen loses. I'm not sure where we're going with this because you know in our offense you could have reversed the ball, and Nolan's wide open here to reverse the ball to him. But Jalen loses control, which that happens. It's not the end of the world, but it happened. The ball is loose. We got two guys right on top of it, Jalen and Nolan. Neither of them come away with it. The kid who comes away with the ball is all the way back here. So you guys have to dive, sprint, throw yourself on the floor and call a timeout when you get the ball, something. But when the ball is loose like that, we can't stand and just watch it. And that's just that kid wanting the ball more than our players wanting it. And actually, it's not on here, but Parker, like, had a great blocked shot. I should have included this, but gets the ball to Nolan, pushes it up to Miles. This is one, we just can't do this. This just cannot happen. Um, Miles brings it up the court, and, I get it. It for a second there, it feels like it's going to be a fast break, right? So I understand. You get going, you want to make something happen, but this is again something, and I know look, it may feel like I'm picking on Miles. It just so happens that he was in the game a lot during this sequence of events, but this is true of all of our guards. You guys got to start to gain an awareness of when to push it for a fast break and when to slow it down and bring it back up. And this is definitely an instance where, you get down right here. Let me back it up a little bit. You get down to about right here. You got one, two, three defenders there. Like, it's just not going to happen. So that's where you circle around, bring it back up, be a point guard, yell at everyone to set it up, and get the offense going. Instead, what we do is, I believe Miles was trying to pass it to Grayson, but we end up throwing it away. And let me just pause and talk about this for a second. We only get the basketball so many times per game, right? There's a limited number of times that we get an opportunity to score. And the truth is, right now maybe this I hope this improves, but right now we are not a high scoring team. So we can't afford to throw possessions away like that. Um, and again, not just Miles. Jalen had a turnover too. Max had some. Big guys had some. It's a team effort and issue that we have to, as a team, all of us, just be more conscious of protecting the basketball because every time we have the basketball, that is a valuable possession, and we got to do the best we can with that. Okay, this one, here's one with Nolan. Or I think that's what. No, no, no. This is okay. This is. Oh, I know what I wanted to show here. Hang on, let me back it up. So Max gets it to Nolan. Nolan kind of dribbles it up to see if there's anything there. Good job by Nolan to not force anything. He's in a double team there for a second. So good bounce pass to reverse it back to Max. Now Max, this is a good idea, good pass. It was a little off and this kid blocks it. But then watch Parker hustle to get the ball. Good layup. And really why I wanted to show that is Parker had a great game in this game. He hustled, rebounded. He had 8 points. I haven't counted it up, but I'm going to guess he had 8 or so rebounds. In 2 years of coaching him, I have to say that this is the best game I've ever seen him play. So there are a lot of plays I could have shown for him, but I wanted to show that one. And I hope we get that same effort from him and from everybody else. but I just wanted to show that and say good job and good game, Parker. All right, this one, I believe, yeah, okay. So look, this is just awareness on defense. This kid is in the corner screaming for the ball, clapping for the ball. Our bottom row defender guy, you can just see the white of his t-shirt there, is Nolan. Like he's basically sending us a message that says, hey, I want the ball to come to me. So we got to get out there and deny the pass. But also, like, look at this terrible pass this guy throws, right? That's in the air forever. In this situation, you got to be almost like a defensive back in football and race to get out there. That ball was in the air for so long. Sprint out there while the ball is in the air, get there at the same time the ball gets there, and either intercept it or if he comes down with it, put pressure on him so we force him to make a bad decision. Instead, we're just kind of slowly going out there, getting into our defensive stance, and then also we give up the baseline again, and what should have been a turnover is now turned into a kid shooting free throws. All right, right here. Oh, I wanted to say this, look, I know this ended up in a turnover, but I want more of this. Is we look at this, look at Parker. That's a good post up there. He's given Max a target. It went through Parker's hands. Not a big deal. It happens. But Grayson Parker, Nolan Colt, this is a good post up right here. You've got your arm and your body kind of holding the defender off to the side, your arm out, uh, giving Max a good target. Max makes a good pass. Had we been able to complete it, Parker would have had a nice lane to get to the basket. This one didn't work out, but this is we need more of this in future games. There's got to be. Oh, okay. This one. This is again an example of our guards have to help each other. Okay. They started putting pressure on us. At this point, it was 17-17. From this point forward, they ended up outscoring us 14-7. Um, they started putting pressure on this. Now, some of this is my responsibility too. I should have had Grayson kind of come up here as a passing. Well, actually, Grayson is right there as an option, but um, our guards have to help each other in these situations. And I think in this instance, um, Cameron was the two, Nolan was the three. So, both of you, all three, Max, Cameron, and Nolan, have responsibilities here to protect the ball. Max is getting double teamed. Now, in a little bit of trouble, we got Nolan standing right here, Cameron standing right here. You guys have to run over and help. Um, you can't just stand there and wait for Max to figure out his way out of it. You got to sprint over and give him an option to get you the ball. Like I said, even if it's literally running up to him and letting him hand the ball to you. Um, so we got Cameron waiting for the ball. This kid reads it, almost picks it off, kind of unsettles Cameron a little bit, and we get a traveling call. This one is, I think that was another box out thing. Um, let's go back and look at the shot. Again, this is not a good shooting team, which is why, yeah, so you look at this. This kid shot. Grayson's got the shooter. This kid's already got inside position on Cameron because Cameron's looking for the ball, not the guy. This guy was able to get inside position on Colt's making an effort here, but this guy got inside position on him. Max and Miles are not making an effort to box out. So now, again, we got lucky, missed the layup. Grayson's there, but again, this wasn't a super good team. So we make these kind of box out mistakes against the better teams in the league, and it would be a real problem for us. What's going on this one? Oh, yeah, this is good recognition by Miles. Grace. So this is the thing with the big guy when we bring the ball up top. We've got our four out and one in, right? And the big guy is kind of following the ball around the paint. But when we bring the ball up, he's right up top. His defender is either going to be in front of him, which we saw earlier, and we're just going to go over the top and throw it to him, or the defender's going to be behind him, which is what's happening right here. So Miles does a good job of recognizing that. A bounce pass, little low, but still, Grayson gets it, goes right to the basket. We got to finish those, but I think that's going to be, especially if teams are going to play man to man against us, that's going to either over the top or right to the big guy is going to be open for us. And, we're lucky. We have two big guys in Parker and Grayson who can and Nolan and Colt who can dribble and get to the basket. So we need to look for that stuff. Um, all right. Again, going to Grayson. Grayson goes to the basket. And this, what was funny about this one is the other coach was screaming that Grayson was pushing the kid too hard, which is hilarious because Grayson's the offensive player. He's allowed to back the kid down. But good. This is another good recognition of Miles seeing that the defender is behind Grayson, getting Grayson the ball, and we can let Grayson use his body to back the kid down and get a good shot. Again, Grayson, we got to finish those though. Okay, if we're gonna get you the ball, we gotta make those inside shots. Um, Good drive by Parker along the baseline, and then Grayson ends up getting some free throws out of it. Again, just I like Parker being aggressive here and not being tentative with the ball, and he gets it, sees an opening, and goes. So good job. This is okay. This is where things started to turn for us. We were up. I think there's about 8 minutes left there. We were up 21-17, 4 point lead. At that point, we just need to play good defense and take smart shots. And this is where things start to go sideways. They had been taking bad shots all game. Um, and it's no different here. Now, this kid beats Jalen, right? And Parker, I believe, comes up to help. And what ends up happening is Jalen reaches in a little bit as the kid is shooting. And we get a cheap foul. Ends up being a 3 point play, I think. But because he makes the shot. So listen, um, most kids at this age are not good shooters. Now, I know he makes the shot, but if it was a wide open layup, that's one thing. Maybe you give them a hard foul or something. But with these, you just got to get a hand in their face. And but we end up getting it's a little bit of a cheap foul too. Jalen barely touched him, but even still, this is where the game started to turn for us a little bit. All right here. Okay, this is something I want to point out. Parker gets a rebound. Good job getting it up the floor. Advances it to Nolan. Nolan dribbles a little bit, tries to see if he can do something with it. Wisely recognizes there's not anything there. Now, here's where the problem happens. Okay, so this is a number one. I'm glad that Nolan did not try and force the ball inside. But now that we've picked up our dribble, we got to think about what our options are. Jalen's right there, but you can tell this kid kind of already has a beat on where Nolan's looking. Parker is wide open and is giving us a target. That's a good job. Miles is kind of open, but he's halfway across the court, and he's got a guy in between him. Grayson is wide open. I mean, wide open. Let me just fast forward it more. Like, we get a bounce pass in there. Grayson's got a good shot. We end up throwing it to Miles. Goes out of bounds. So, again, I'm not, I don't want to pick on anyone, but this is a good lesson for the entire team, which is, I know sometimes we're under pressure. We want to make something happen. We're not quite sure what to do. Just check out, you can always use your pivot foot to move your body and create some space, and look at all your options. Don't panic and throw to the first open kid you see, because that may not be the best pass. And if we got, big guys down low giving us targets, those should be our first options. All right. This one is, we need to work on this a little more, but this is the bump coverage that I'm talking about, right? So Miles picks up the ball. This kid runs out to the wing. Even though this is technically not the bottom, the back row zone, we got to have this guy, which in this case is Nolan, but there are a lot of kids on our team who struggle with this. This kid has to come out and help for a second until Miles can recover over there. And what happens is Miles recovers, but by the time this kid gets it, he's already made the shot. So you can see Grayson is over here to help, right? So there's plenty of time for, or, this guy Nolan has the ability to come out here and help with this guy for a second until Miles gets there. And we'll go over that some more in practice. I know we've been working on the offense a lot more, and we haven't spent a lot of time on defense in a while, but that's something we got to work on. Okay. Uh, this is again. We got to work to get open. Um, so we see Miles is getting double teamed, right? Um, we're all out of position here. Like, Grayson is where he's supposed to be. Max should be up top. Nolan should be down here. Parker should be up here on the wing because he's the four at this point. So, Miles is out of position, is in double team. And I know technically this turnover is on Miles because he threw the pass, but this is really on everybody because nobody's in the right spot. Um, and we got to set up the offense and run it and not do our own thing out there. Okay, this is, I think, the second to last play, but I just wanted to say on this one, we get. Wait, is this what I'm looking for? Oh, right here. Yeah. Parker gets the rebound. Good job looking up court to Max, which is what we have been talking about doing. And Max, good, hard, aggressive drive to the basket and gets fouled. So, this right here is what we've been talking about for a long time. Our big guys have been getting the ball and just holding it until the defenders cleared out. So this is a great job by Parker to look up the court and see the outlet and get it to Max. And then our last offensive play of the game might have been our best one of the whole game. This is just great passing. So remember, good. Miles does this thing again, goes over the top, right? The defender is in front of Grayson, so we go over the top. And remember, what are the wings supposed to do if we get the ball here? They're supposed to cut to the basket, which is what Parker does. Good look by Grayson to get him the ball quickly, and we end with a nice layup there. But that's something we need to keep doing. All right. So that is it. I know, kind of a long video, but hopefully you guys found it helpful. Um, and we'll talk about some of this stuff in practice this week. But I appreciate all of you watching it.